Thank you. All right. So we have when and is true, both cases are true. All right. The only time that or is false is when both cases are false. Our conditional statement, the only time you have a false is when you have a broken promise. The broken promise is always from true to false. And then our biconditional statement, you only get a true when both of the cases are the same, when you have two T's and two F's. So you see where these asterisks are? Those are the only rules that you need to remember out of these 4 tables. Okay? If you know these 5 rules, then you know the others. Okay? Why? Because if you pick out this outlier, okay, these are the outliers now. If you know the outlier rule, that the conditional statement is false only when you're going from T to F, when you fill in all of those, then everything else has to be the opposite. It has to be true. All right? So you automatically know the rest. Is everybody all right so far?
Yes.
All right, good. Coming on down to the second page. Then we have our variations of the conditional statement. We need to know those and how to convert our conditional statement into the converse. Converse means we're just gonna flip, right? We're just flipping it. The inverse means we're gonna leave it where it is, but we're going to negate it. Right? The contrapositive, we're going to do both. Big word, we should do a lot of big things. We should be flipping and negating. Is everybody okay?
Yes.
All right, good. Then when we come down to negating our quantified statements, this is where our circles come in at. All of these things are connected here, okay? So when we're talking about negating our quantified statements, this is not where we use our not here, okay? Not is when we negate our simple statement. But when we have a quantified statement, they start with all, some, or none, all right? So when they give you a statement that starts with these words, you're gonna remember our setup here, where all are on the top, along with none are. And your sums are always on the bottom. Some are, and then some are not. And then when you draw your toggle lines, that's going to automatically jog your memory to know that when you're negating and they start you off with all are, it negates to some are not. And then vice versa. When they start you with some are and they want you to negate it, it negates to none are. Okay, and of course, as we're reading our statements, we'll write it accordingly. We don't want the English people to come get us. All right, got to make it sound right. All right. Then when we start using our Euler circles, if you're from Georgia, we say Euler, that matter, you know, but circles, okay? All right, I ain't ashamed, okay? Once we get to our circles, we're using this for validity, okay? They're gonna ask you to look at the circles and either draw them to represent a statement, read the circles to tell what the circles are saying, or to use these to tell validity. Okay, and we're going to practice that as well. Then we get down to, if there's a hard part on the sheet that you have to memorize, it's probably these things right here. But think about what's happening. De Morgan's laws, we saw it in Unit 1, okay? Doing the same thing here. They want us to negate. What do we have to remember? That when we negate and, it changes to or, okay? It negates to or. You're going to negate both of your statements. We already know that. But we have to remember that it negates to or. Okay? And then when we negate or, of course, it turns to and. Is everybody all right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. Just refreshing our minds now, because when we get to going through our sheet, we're going to roll through it. All right, here's that negation of the conditional statement. That conditional statement is a big thing, y'all. That's a really big thing. You see, you got your variations of the conditional. We have our truth table that is for the conditional statement, right? Our broken promise. Then we got all these other things about it. We got to negate it. When we negate the conditional statement, we have to remember that we have to leave P alone. And the big thing that we got to remember is that it negates to and. All right? It negates to and. That's the main thing we got to remember first. Then we remember, leave P alone, negate the Q. All right? But then when we're talking about equivalence, we were told, and we saw in our truth tables in the lesson, that what is equivalent to the conditional statement? There's two things. And on the test, they're going to ask you this probably in one question. All right, they'll ask you to pick the two statements that are equivalent to your conditional. And we already know that this first statement is equivalent. And this one right here, what does this look like? We just saw it someplace on our sheet. Do we remember?
Contrapositive.
There you go. All right. The conditional is always equivalent to its contrapositive. All right. That just might be a statement. They want you to tell if it's true or false. But always know that it's equivalent to its contrapositive. But we also need to know that the conditional statement is equivalent to negation P or Q. All right. So we negate P and it turns to or. All right. And leave the Q. So it is equivalent here to these two statements. So we've gone through our whole need to know sheet right now. That's going to get us all the way through pretty much 80% of the test. Is everybody all right so far?
Yes.
Let's put it into action, okay? So now keep your sheet up. Don't look if you can help it, but have it on the side in case you need to peek, all right? Here we go. Let's take a look now. I'm going to switch my sharing. And we're going to go ahead and pull up our next thing. We're going to do, in your book, you have two samples, okay? And we're going to look at, let me see. We are going to do sample 2. All right, you've probably already started your sample 1. Hopefully you have, okay? Now let's look at what it's going to look like. This is going to be close representation of what's going to be happening, okay, on your test. We are looking at these multiple choice selections. And this is about how many you're going to have on the test, okay? They'll give you about 5, 6, 7 multiple choice selections when it comes down to you negating, showing equivalence, okay? When they ask you these things, I do not expect for you to sit there and read all this stuff, okay? When you get to start reading a whole lot of stuff, then it's starting to float in your head. You start to mix it up, okay? It all starts sounding the same. This is where the rules help for you to rule some stuff out. And that's what we depend on the rule for, okay? Here we go. For each of the following, all right, which is the negation of the given statements. Now we're talking about the negation. The negation of what? If the verb...
Sorry. Dr. Hamilton, we have a question. Where are these reviews located?
These are located in your blank class notes, okay? In your class notes. You can also should find a copy of them in your Canvas shell. All right, so the blank class notes are usually located in your Canvas shell in the module section. All right. All right. These are, okay, the same ones that you've been working on in class or following with if you're online, following with your video lessons, okay? So it should fall right behind, okay? All right. So it says, if the bird is blue, then the lizard is brown. First thing we need to note is that we have an if-then statement. Do we agree? All right, so the negation we said of this conditional statement. So we have P implies Q, and they want us to negate it. What do we say the negation of this statement was equivalent to? What do we need to remember about the negation of it? What does it go to?
You mean it negates all of it inside the parentheses?
No, I want you to tell me what the rule says. This is where we need to know the rule. I just went over it. It's one of the last things. I said that this sign right here turns into something. Anybody? Come on.
Turns into P and negated Q?
Okay. P and not Q. But now what was the main thing I needed to remember? I needed to remember about this and right here. Okay. Now put a pin in it. Once I remember that it negates to and, right there, I want to start ruling out some stuff. Is everybody okay?
Yes.
Let's start looking at our multiple choice selections and let's get rid of some stuff. We agree that our conditional statement is no longer conditional. Do we agree? So that means it can't start with what word? What was it? If. So let's get rid of the ones that have start with an if. Which ones can I get rid of?
A and D.
Gone. A is gone and D is gone. Those are if-then statements. We know it doesn't negate to itself, okay? Now, we said that we remember that it negates to an and statement. Now, let's get rid of all the ones that don't have the word and in it. Tell me which ones those are.
E.
D is in, oh, B is in boy? Yep. It has an if and only if. Do you see that? Can't be my answer. Next.
E.
E.
E is gone. It has an or in it. Next. Is it any more?
G.
G is gone. Got an or in it. Can't be my answer. Look at what we did. Did I have to read the stuff? No. All I needed to remember was that this statement negates to an and statement. So I done got rid of 5 of my choices. Now I'm left with 2 statements. So if all else fails, you can cover up your eyes and go any, many, miny, more, please, Lord, let me pick the right one. Okay, you got a 50-50 chance. But we're not going to do that because we know what the rule going to say. And the rule says, next thing we need to know, leave P alone. Which one of these left P alone?
C.
C left P alone. Okay. Did F leave P alone?
Yes.
Okay. Then we got to remember, we got to negate the Q. Who negated the Q?
C.
C did it. So my answer, C. Is everybody all right?
Yes.
But if you know the rule, you could at least get rid of the ones that you know can't be the answer. Okay. And sometimes it's going to get rid of everything and only leave you the answer. All right. But it's going to leave you where you only have like 1 or 2 choices, 3 tops. Okay. But you got to look closely and see what's happening. Is everybody all right? Okay. Do the next one. Number 2. It says the bird is blue and the lizard is brown. What kind of statement did they start us off? What's the key word in this statement?
And,
And they want us to negate it. And negates to what we said?
or,
Or. Get rid of the ones that don't have an or in it. Which ones are they?
A,
Mm-hmm.
C,
Which one?
A, D,
Okay, D is in dog, but D is in dog has or in it.
oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. C, okay.
E,
E,
All right. The E, okay.
F,
Uh-huh.
and G.
Do we see what's happening? Now, tell me which one you think is the answer.
B.
D is in dog.
B as in boy.
Okay, B is in boy. Because the rule says when we're negating and, it changes to or, and we have to negate both statements. So now the bird is not blue or the lizard is not brown. So B. How are we feeling about it so far?
a lot better.
Good. Because once you start crossing stuff off, don't it feel good in your spirit? Right?
Yes.
Get rid of the stuff. I love getting rid of stuff. It would just make me feel good. Try number 3. I ain't gonna say nothing. We got the pattern now. We know what we're doing. Go ahead. Mhm. Okay. All right, we should be there. Remember, it's all about the rules. So once we get those down and we know what's going on, it should only take about 35, 40 seconds. Give or take a minute and a half. Depends on how difficult the
Is it E?
process is. Okay. All right. We should have a possible result coming up. Before you give it to me, tell me what the rule is. They gave us an or statement, and then once they negate it, it negates to what?
And,
And we know we have to negate both the statements.
yes.
Okay, tell me what's my answer.
E,
B is in boy.
no, E is an elephant.
E is an elephant. Let's see. The bird is not blue and the lizard is not brown. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I agree too. All right. We already knew for sure that it couldn't be. Which ones couldn't it be? Just to make sure we are right.
D,
It
G,
can't be the or
It
statements
can't be the ones without and in it.
or the
Okay.
if then.
All right. It can't be the if thens. All right. And it can't be the ors because or can't negate to itself. So the ors are out. All right. And it can't be the if and only if. All right. So it only left you with 2 choices. You see how that is? That's how it's pretty much going to be. Okay. All right. We feeling all right about it. That's all right. Right. So that need to know sheet, really just focusing it on what's going on and the rules. Again, use whatever techniques you're normally using to study. Okay. Go ahead and work out looking at the negation of all birds are blue. All birds are blue. Right? You should Be
B.
about there. We say B because when we think about it, close your eyes, you can see the structure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're looking at the toggle lines and know where they go. And we know that all are negates to
Some
some
are.
are not. Okay,
Oh, some are not.
some are not. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So remember, you have all are, none are.
Okay.
Oh, just a second. Okay, so you have some are and none are. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
on the bottom, you have, all are, none are. And then on the bottom, you have your sums. So you have some are,
Some are not.
some are not.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then your top. Okay,
Okay.
right. Now, let's try a couple more of these.
Okay.
Tell me, let's do numbers 5. No, I'm sorry, not number 5, number 6, number 7, and then we're going to do all of 8, 9, 10, and 11. Go for it. Get into that Converse goodness, that conditional stuff.
I always had the contrapositive. That's the trick for me.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know, because you're doing 2 things to it. So I know for a fact I gotta flip it and negate it. It's the other ones that you have to remember, do I just flip this one or do I just negate? But when you look at the words and think about what they mean, it helps you to remember what you got to do to them. All right. You got to make it real in your mind. And also come up with your own words. Come up with your own definitions of it to help you remember. Think about it.
For those of you that just joined us, we're working on problems 6 through 11 using the need to know sheets.
Should be almost there. Almost ready to start talking about it. Okay, have we made it to number 10? Do we need a little more time, or are we ready to go for it?
Ready.
Ready? Okay. All right. We're talking about it now. Number 6. Which of the following is the negation of the statement, some birds are not blue? So,
All birds.
I mean, some, all right. Some birds are not blue negates to, we
All
said,
birds are blue.
okay. All birds are blue. Is everybody all right with that?
Yes.
Yeah, good. How about no birds are blue?
Some
Some
birds are
birds
blue.
are blue.
Some birds are blue.
I thought that negated to none are.
Which one? The
That first one, number 6.
No,
Negation.
some birds are not negates to all are. See it here?
Okay, I saw it back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-oh. All right. Then we have, I'm waiting for my computer to act right. Clear. Here we go. All right, let me get back up here. Okay, now we have some birds are blue. All right. What about the converse? As if the bird is blue, then the lizard is brown. What's the converse? What are we doing when we do the converse again? What do we have to do to it?
Flip it.
Just flip it, right? So it's still always going to be, remember, these transitions are always still going to be an if then. So if this was a multiple choice selection, you would get rid of all the ones that were not a if then, okay? And then make sure you're doing what you need to do. So we got to flip it. All right. So we have if, what?
If the lizard is brown, then the bird is blue.
Okay. So remember, don't change any of the wording. You're just going to flip it over. If the lizard is brown, then the bird is blue. All right. But what about the inverse?
You leave them in the same spot, but negate them.
All right. Okay. Perfect. You got to negate. Leave them where they are. Just negate them. Still an if then. So if what?
Not blue.
So if, okay, the bird is not blue. Then,
The lizard isn't brown.
okay, so the lizard is not brown. Is everybody okay so far?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Which of the following? Okay, so we're doing the contrapositive of it. And we know the contrapositive, we just said earlier that we're going to do what to find the contrapositive?
Flip and negate.
Okay, got to do both. All right, flip and negate it. So this one right here that we did the inverse, you're just going to flip it over with your invisible spatula, right? So if the lizard is not brown, and then the bird is not blue. Okay, you just flip it that right on over. So we have the invert, converse, inverse, and the contrapositive thing going on. What happens now when they try to ask us about this equivalence thing? So it says, again, tell us the two, right? Which two of the following are equivalent? Again, this is multiple choice selection, and you're going to pick the two statements that are equivalent to this. All right. So if the bird is blue, the lizard is then the lizard is brown. Tell me one of the statements we know is equivalent to this.
If the lizard is brown, then the bird is blue.
Try it one more time.
If the bird is not blue, then the lizard is not brown.
No.
Would it be like, I'm sorry, no, that probably makes sense. Wait, no, I don't know.
Try. Oh, y'all are all around it. Come on, try it one more time.
The bird is blue, then the lizard is brown.
No.
Contrapositive?
It is the contrapositive, but what's the contrapositive? We just wrote it.
Flip and negate?
Okay, but what is it?
Is it and?
Uh.
Never mind. Never mind.
If the lizard is not brown, then the bird is not blue.
There you go. We just wrote it for
Oh
number
my God.
10. Are we? Do we see it? That's the first thing we had to remember. I'm glad y'all remembered that the contrapositive finally is equivalent to our statement. And we just wrote the contrapositive of it for number 10. Is everybody all right? This is the
What is it?
contrapositive.
Oh.
So the contrapositive is equivalent to this.
Oh, okay.
Does everybody see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to cheat and I'm going to just draw an arrow.
Okay, yeah. It's not.
So I have to rewrite it. Is everybody okay?
Mm-hmm.
So remember, that's the contrapositive. All right. All right. So it's contrapositive statement is equivalent to that one. So now we got that first statement. This is our first one. What's our second one that is equivalent to our conditional statement? What did we say was happening with that one? Give me the symbolic form for the rule. What did the rule say? So we know the contrapositive was negation Q implies negation P. But what was the other equivalence?
The converse?
No, look on your sheet. We're looking for the equivalent of the conditional statement.
It would be P to Q equals not Q to, or if then not P.
No. No. Look on the need to know sheet that we went over at the beginning. And at the bottom, it tells you what's equivalent.
Or,
Okay, but give me the whole statement.
oh, I couldn't tell you that right now.
Okay, but I need the letters so we'll know what the word's going to say. He is right. It does transform to or.
Can I give him a hint in the chat?
Sure. That's a big old hint.
LOL.
That's the whole thing.
Oh,
We already had the or.
Well, true. Okay. Well, I guess so. Yeah. Okay. So we have to negate the P or Q. So that's our second equivalent statement. So now we got to transform this. Here's our lettering. So now we know we got to negate the P. So we're going to get rid of the if then. And we know it's going to be an or. So negate the P and we get what? What's our negation P?
P,
Give me the statement, the words.
P.
If
Oh,
the
and?
bird is not
The
blue,
bird is not
Okay.
blue.
So
Oh
the
my
bird,
God.
not if, but the bird. Because it's not an if then anymore, right?
Or
So,
the lizard is the
okay. So the bird, okay, good, is not blue. Or, and then we leave Q alone.
Or, okay.
All right. The lizard is brown. And there's our second equivalent statement to our conditional. Okay. Here's our rule. And so there's the words that correspond to the rule. Is everybody all right?
yes.
So when you know the rule, you can write it symbolically, and that kind of helps you to write it in words, especially if they give it to you in words. All right. So it's going to be a lot of writing in words, but you have to know what you're writing. You got to know what the rule says so you can write it correctly. All right, here we go. Looking at doing some drawing. All right. Now, using those Euler circles that they gave us, it says draw the Euler circles associated with the following statements. Now, in the test, you're not going to be drawing any, but you are going to be looking at the drawings and then interpreting them and encircling the ones that say what it is. Make sure on the test that you read the directions carefully to see what they want you to do. Sometimes they may want you to look at the circles and negate it. Okay, so make sure you read carefully. Here, we're going to just draw our statements. It says all birds are blue. What should that look like if I was drawing it?
Two circles into each other,
Okay, what circle is going to be inside?
birds,
Okay, so you should have a small circle called birds, and then a bigger circle outside called blue. Is everybody all right with that? So this says all these birds are blue. Any questions about it? Does everybody see what we're doing?
No.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so blue is on the outside of the circle. So
Tell me this. Do you know where the circles are coming from?
yes,
Okay, that's good. Okay. Now, do you understand the concept of what we're trying to do with the circles?
yes. Oh,
Good.
I get it now. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Sometimes, it got to click and stuff when
Yeah.
we see it, right? Okay. All right, so now what about the next one? No birds are blue. What should that look like?
two separate
Two
circles.
separate circles.
Two separate circles not touching, okay? Circle here, and it doesn't matter which one you make the one or the other. So this is going to be my birds, right? And this will be blue. Okay, this could have been your blue circle or your birds. It doesn't matter as long as they're not touching. Okay. And then the last one, some birds are blue. Should look like what?
Conjoining.
What is it?
Two circles overlapping. I'm sorry.
One. Okay, good. Here we go. Two circles touching. And this says, here's birds. and here's blue, right? This says that some birds are blue. Right up in here, that says that, right? Some birds are blue. But out here, what does this say out here?
No birds are blue.
No, not no birds are blue. Try
Some
one more.
birds, some birds are not blue.
There you go.
Mhm.
Some birds, because remember the two circles are still overlapping, okay? So you still have to start off with some. So some birds are not blue, okay? Is everybody all right? Everybody see what I did? Any questions about it? All right. So now let's see what we're going to do about our truth tables. Okay, so now you're going to be given some truth tables. Now in the homework, you know about our truth tables, and you have the little pull down menus to put your T's and your F's in there. I just want to remind you, when you're pulling down the truth tables and filling them in with your T's and F's, make sure you make a clear break from your pull down menu, okay? So I don't want you to put the right letter in there, and then you go to the next cell and you didn't break it, and then it changed your previous letter, okay? So just make sure you're watching that. Going through the truth table setup just to make sure that we're okay. They might just go ahead and give you a truth table and tell you to go ahead and complete it, all right? Remember, if they give you 2 letters, that represents your simple statement, okay? If they give you 2 letters, know that you only have 4 cases, okay? 4 cases. If they give you 3 letters, P, Q, and R, then that doubles your cases and you get 8 cases, all right? This is important because you may at some point have to do your own truth table. You got to know how to set these things up. So I don't want you to make sure you don't leave anything off due to the fact that you're not paying attention to how many letters they give you. They can only give you 2 or 3.
I'm sorry, but can you repeat that? Like 2 letters, it's 4 cases, 3 letters, it's
8 cases, okay? You can always go back and look at the setup, but remember, your first simple statement is always half true, half false. You see that? Your second statement is always alternating, starting with true. Why are we doing this? Because those are the only combinations that you can have with those 2 cases, okay? With those 2 simple statements. So to cover, and that's how you get those 4 cases. So that's the only 4 combinations you can get with 2 simple statements. So when you add that third letter, that R, then once you put in your half true, half false, then your next one will be 2 trues, 2 false, alternating. And then your third letter will be alternating by ones. So true, false, true, false. You'll get only 8 cases. Okay, what is that? 8 combinations that you could possibly get in the whole world with those 3 simple statements. All right. So now that we have gotten that, you have your structure and what they're asking you at the top. Here comes those truth tables and those 5 outlier cases that we are going to remember. Now, before we go through it, tell me when or is false. When is or false?
When it's 2 Fs.
When it's 2 Fs. All right. Tell me when the conditional statement is false.
if P is true and Q is false.
Okay, so T to F gives you F. Okay, we call that the broken promise. And remember that order matters with the conditional statement. That's the only one where order is important. All right, tell me about the biconditional rule where you're using that double arrow. What do we need to remember about that? It's true when what?
There are 2 trues,
And
Or 2
2
false.
falses.
okay, so when they're the same, that's when you get true. So 2 Fs or 2 Ts, you'll get a T. Okay, very good. And then what about our and statement? When is and true?
When both of them are true.
When both are true. Okay, so if we remember those, this is going to go by really nicely. Are we ready? Here's what you do. We're ready to go through our first one. We have P and Q. They're asking us about that and statement. And we just said and is true only when both cases are true. You're going to look at the columns they're asking you to look at, P and Q. And you're going to look just for that outlier case, T and T. So we see right here that T and T appears right here at the top, right? Fill that in. And then we're looking, 2 T's, no. 2 T's, no. Not right here. So if this is my only time right here, that means the rest of these have to be what?
False.
So fill them in. You don't have to think about them. You're only looking for the outlier case. That's the only one you really got to think about. Is everybody all right with that? Okay. Now they're asking me here to take what I just did and they want me to negate it. Negate this column for me. What do you get?
False, true, true, true.
Okay. False. True. 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 All right. Now they want me to negate my simple statements. They want me to negate P here and then negate Q. Go ahead and negate P. What do we get?
False, false, true, true.
Beautiful. Okay. And negating Q.
False, true, false, true.
Okay. Any questions right here? When you're doing columns, it goes by really fast. When you're looking for the outlier case, it goes by really fast. Is everybody all right? All right, let's get this next column. Now they want us to look at negation P or negation Q. What do we remember about or again? What's that or rule?
It's false when there's 2 false.
It's false when it's 2 falses. Let's find these 2 false right here using my negation P column and my negation Q column. 2 F's appear where?
The first one.
Okay, I know that's an F. Does it appear anywhere else?
No.
Nope. So the rest of these have to be what?
True.
And we're done with this one. We still good? Let's get the answer. Now remember, these were the pieces now to get to the whole. Okay? We had to find the moving pieces to get to the question. This was the whole question right here. So now we're going to look at this negation P and Q. That's this column right here. The biconditional is what the question is. And then we're looking at the column that we just did, which is negation P or negation Q. If there's a hard part, you got to make sure you're looking at the right columns. That's it. All right. So we're looking at here and here. And the biconditional statement tells me what again? I'm looking for T's when what?
And they're the same.
When they're the same, both true or both false. So looking at these 2 right here, I see some good stuff.
When
Do
you
you
say
see?
these, I'm sorry, excuse me. When you say these 2, which 2 are you referring to?
Oh, right here and right here.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. All right. So we see that these 2 right here are equivalent. These 2 columns, do you see that they have the same values, right? So when they have the same exact values for each case, that means that they're equivalent, okay? So these right here.
They're all true.
These are equivalent. So when we are answering this question right here, we see that we should get all T's, like he said. They're both false here, that's a T. All trues, those are T's. And there's my answer to the question right there. Is everybody okay?
Yes.
Now tell me, what do we call it when your answer for each case are all true?
Tautology.
A tautology, that's right. Okay, it's a tautology. That means it's valid, okay? It's a valid argument. We're gonna get to that shortly, okay? But it's a tautology. When all of your conclusions, right, all of your answers are true, it's a tautology. Is everybody all right with using your rules to fill in your truth table? Go ahead and try this next one. You're trying to work it out. Right. The negation of your simple statements, always nice. You're just flipping, right, the value that they give you. Then remembering our rules, right? We only got 5 of them to remember. Find those first, then you can fill in the rest. We're doing good. Trying to get to the end. Right, should be almost there with it. Okay, are we ready? Let's walk through it. Our first one, nice that those are our friends, right? Negating our P, we get what?
False, false, true, true.
Wonderful. Make you feel good when you can fill them in, right? I don't know, feel good in my spirit. Okay, negation Q, what is it?
False, true, false.
Wonderful. Okay, those two done. Now we have the conditional statement. P implies Q. What do we remember about that one? What's the rule?
Depends on the order, T before F.
All right, T to F gives us what?
True.
No.
No, give us false. The rest of them be true.
Okay, just that one. So T to F is F. So we're looking for that one, looking at our P column and our Q column. We're looking for T to F. And we see it appears right here in our second case, right there. So right there is F. And then everything else has to be true. Is everybody okay? We're almost there. Now they want us to do the conditional statement for our negation P and our negation Q. Tell me if we have an F anywhere in this column. Where is it?
The third one.
Okay, I see that, the third one, T to F is F, okay. And that's it, right? So the rest of these have to be true. Did everybody get that? All right, now let's answer the big question. The big question we're looking at, P implies Q here, right there. And then we're looking at this next column right here. Negation P implies negation Q. But they want us to answer this question right there. All right, Thinking about our rule now. We just said that biconditional rule says we get true when what?
Got the same.
They're two.
All right, when they're the same. Go ahead and tell it. What's your answer for this column?
True, false,
The
false,
first
true.
one, yeah.
Okay, true, false, false, true.
Can you explain that again?
Which part?
When you said it's the true when they're the same?
Right, when
So-
the both cases are the same. When you have a T and a T or F and an F, you'll get true. So in this first case, we got two T's, so there's a T. In the last case, we got two T's, so we had a T. But the two middle cases, we didn't have two of the same term, so we knew that those were going to be F's.
Can I stop you right there?
Sure.
I just have a quick question.
Huh?
I'm not making the connection between the truth tables and what we were doing earlier. So.
Which part? What number?
Well, I'm not talking about just basically the truth tables in general.
Mhm.
So you've got the P and the Q, and then you're negating, and then you're using two if-then statements. Where are these coming from? And then the last statement, what does that mean?
What does this mean?
Yes, because it's an if and only if statement. So are if and only if statements considered by conditional?
Yes,
Okay, all right, I get it then.
Yeah, we're just we don't care whether they're giving it what they're giving it to us for. We don't know what these statements are. These letters represent simple statements. They can be something that they give us later on. They could give it to us in words later on. But what they want to know is, what is the value of this statement given the rule? And if they give us these symbols, we should be able to apply the rules to them. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Good. So don't overthink of why this is here and where it's coming from. We're going to make the connection with the words and the symbols as we move forward, when they ask us to translate and everything. So this part is for us to look at all possible cases for this particular statement. Once we transition our truth and our false into it, we're looking at what are the value of this? Is it true? Is it going to be what is the value of it, to see if it's going to be a valid statement or invalid statement? Ultimately, that's where we're going with it. It's an argument that we don't even know what the words are. They could be arguing about toys and who's gonna get the fire engine and who's gonna get the doll. We don't know. Okay. But we're looking at all possible situations that could have happened to this doll and this fire engine. You get the head, I get the legs. You get the wheels, I get the ladder. We don't know. That's why we got 4 cases. You see what I mean? Okay. So ultimately, we're looking, this math right here is about thinking outside the box, okay? And we do it every day. So those persons who have maybe families and kids, you do it with your kids all the time. Like, okay, he hit me, and who hit first? Okay, well, logically, you know who did it. And you ration it out all the time, but you don't think about it in symbolic form. You don't think about it in this form. This is all we're doing, is we're just breaking those situations, our worldly situations, down into symbolic form so that we can look at all possible cases, okay, and see what we can come up with. That's what we're doing. All right. So now this next problem, okay, is talking about validity and how we're going to use our truth tables to tell if something is valid or invalid. And we only have 15 minutes, because I know Miss Beard's going to tell it right now. So when we're looking at validity, we're looking for a certain pattern. Does anybody know what that pattern is?
TTF.
TTF. And we call it the bad row, okay? The bad row is TTF. So they're giving us the symbolic form of our statements. You're probably going to get the word form, and they're going to ask you to change it to symbolic form and then tell if it's valid or invalid. Here is my premise 1. Okay, my premise 2, and my conclusion. When we're using our truth tables for this, remember we only have 3 columns. Noticing that we only have 3 simple statements that they've given us here because they gave us 3 different letters. We have P, we have Q, and we have R. And you notice how we have those 8 cases represented. Again, my first case is half true, half false. So 4 T's, 4 F's. Then my Q is 2 T's, 2 F's, 2 T's, 2 F's. Then my third case, TF, TF, and so forth, okay? These are all the possible combinations that we can have for these 3 simple statements. And now we have our 3 columns represented here to represent our P1, our P2, and our conclusion. So we're going to put our symbolic form into our headers. So we have P implies Q, Q implies R, and R implies P. And what are we doing? Just said that we're looking for a pattern. And that pattern is T, T, F. If that appears in our truth table, then that means that our argument here is invalid. All right. But if it does not appear, then we're good. It's valid. We do not have to complete the entire table. If you know what you're looking for, you can cut your work in half here. All right. Let's do it. You can start anywhere you feel comfortable. All of them are the conditional statement. So we could just start at the beginning here and work our way across. So we have P implies Q. And we know that the conditional statement says we get false when we do what? You see how I keep saying it, right? Gotta keep saying it.
True,
When
then
it's T, that's right. When it's T to F, you get F, okay? So T to F is F. Let's fill in the whole entire column here. All right, so we're looking for T to F is F, and I'm going to get those first. Looking at my P and my Q column. T to F is F. That's what I'm looking for. Not here, not here, but right here it is. That's going to be an F. Right here, it's going to be an F. Let's see, no, 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 and no, okay? So the only place I'm going to get an F is right here in these 2 cases. Is everybody all right? So that means the rest of these got to be true. I don't want to think about all that stuff. I only want to think about that one outlier case, fill it in, and then the rest of them has got to be the opposite. Any questions about it? Now watch this. You see where these right here are F's? Do I need to worry about these 2 cases right here? I don't, right? Will it give, is it a T? No. So it won't give me my pattern. Remember, I'm looking for this pattern right here. So since these lead off with an F, I can just 86 these 2 cases right here. I don't have to worry about finishing those off. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, because we don't want to do a lot of work. We just want to get to the gusto, right? Okay, now let's go and get Q to R. So again, we're looking for T to F is F. All right, so right here, I'm looking for T to F is F. So no. Okay, but right here in my second case, I got T to F. That's an F. Now come on down here. You got T to T, no. But look, right here, T to F, that's an F. And no place else does an F appear. Is everybody all right? All right. So now I'm going to fill in the rest of these with my T's. Tell me which ones I don't have to worry about now.
F's.
Yep, the ones that have the F's in them, I can just finish those out. I don't have to worry about this one. Now I have to worry about this one. All right, because it won't give me my pattern TTF. Now the other ones are possible, right? We're going to see in just a sec. All right, so now I have 4 cases that I gotta finish out to see if it's going to give me an F. So now I have from R to P. Now watch the direction now. I have to go from R to P. So R all the way to P. So from here to here, okay? So I gotta go in that direction. I'm looking for T to F to give me an F. So right here in this first case is T to T. That's not gonna do it, all right? Now I'm coming on down here. Here's T to F. Oh, look at that. There's T to F is F right there. Do you see that? I got a bad row. I don't even have to finish the last 2 cases. Now, on the test, if they give you the table, you got to finish the table, okay? But if it's on your paper, you don't have to finish, okay? Because we already found 1 bad row. But if we want to go ahead and finish it off, just to finish it, here's T to F. Here's another bad row right there. And then down here, nope, this gave me a T. Didn't have to worry about that one. So I got a bad row right here. And I have a bad row right here. Now, all you need is one of them, 1 bad row, and that tells me invalid. Is everybody okay? Any questions about it? So remember, if they ask you to check on validity and they're giving you those simple statements, you've got to do the truth table and look for the bad row. All right. Let's see if we can squeeze in 2 more here. Let's look at transitioning to symbolic form, from words to symbolic form. Let's try number 19. And then we're going to try to see if we can get one of number 20 in there. All right, so 19 and then 20. Think about what they're giving you now. They want us to transition this statement into symbolic form. Okay. Oh, good, we did make it. All right, we should be there with our symbolic form for number 19. All right, does anybody want to give it a try?
P.
Okay.
And the arrows going in both directions.
Okay.
The squiggly line, R. And with the arrow with the caret going down, and Q.
All right, I agree with most of that, but something important is missing. Can anybody help her figure out what's missing?
Parentheses.
Ah, parentheses. And we have to have the parentheses because we have 3 of our letters, right? So we have a P, Q, and an R. When they give you 3 simple statements, parentheses have got to be there somewhere, okay? So we are good where we see that the bird is blue, that's P, loved it, okay? And then the comma tells us, or gives us an idea where those parentheses are. So you see where that comma comes in at? That means that our parentheses should be behind our main statement. So then we have our if and only if, right? And then our parentheses should come in case that stuff you said, okay? So if and only if the flea is not green, all right? So the flea is not green, she's at negation R. And the lizard is brown, which is Q. Is everybody okay with that? When we read it, we should see that these two simple statements are coupled together with this word and. All right. So we have a statement, then we have our main thought, if and only if. Then we have two statements joined together by another one of our words. That means that parentheses have to hold those two together. Is everybody all right with that? So we good?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So negation R and Q. Okay. Now, let's look at validity using our quantified statements. I can get it there. There it is. Look at these multiple choice selections. Now, these are some hand-drawn things, but of course, on the test, they'll be a little more deliberate. They use some good drawing there for you. It says, all birds are cute. Polly is a bird. Therefore, Polly is cute. All right. What do we think we need to do? Thinking about our circles, look at what they gave you for the multiple choice selections. Remember, we're drawing our first premise. This is our P1, our P2, and our conclusion. But we're just pictorially drawing it. Looking at my premise 1, all birds are cute. What should that look like?
Birds inside the cute circle.
Okay, so knowing that, just looking at and thinking about that first premise, tell me which one of these just can't be my answer.
D.
B.
Okay,
B
I
and
heard.
D.
Okay, B and D. What does B and D say?
Some and not.
Okay, well, it says some birds are cute.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it says. But we need all birds to be cute. So B and D have to be out. Okay, is everybody all right? Now we got
Yes.
birds, right? For A, it does say birds, all birds are cute. And C says all birds are cute. So we're good with premise 1. Now premise 2 says Polly is a bird. So now we need to draw this to be true. In order for Polly to be a bird, she needs to be in the bird circle. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is she in the bird circle for A?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Is she in the bird circle for C?
No, ma'am.
No. Can that be our answer?
I hope so.
C can't be our answer because Polly ain't in the bird circle. Is everybody okay? What are we looking for with this? We're looking for T, T, F. We're still looking for the bad row, but we don't have any rows here, okay? But we are looking for our premise to be true, our first premise to draw it true, our second premise to be drawn true, okay? And then we're gonna look at it and see how many ways we can draw that second premise true. It might be 1 way, it might be 2 ways, it might be 5 ways. But out of all the ways you can think about drawing that premise to be true, when you read that conclusion, does it hold true for every single way you can draw it? Okay, that's what you're looking for. You are not trying to draw the conclusion to be true. That is not your job, okay? Our job is to draw our premise 1 to be true, our premise 2 to be true. And then we're looking to see if our conclusion comes out to be whatever they tell us. Is it true in every case? If it is, we're great. But if there's one of those drawings that show against that conclusion, no go. Is everybody all right? So we see that birds, right? Okay. Polly is a bird. She's in there. Now it says, therefore, Polly is cute. Is Polly cute? Yep, she is right there. That's got to be our answer right there. Is everybody all right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, it's time, Dr. Hamilton. Are you good?
It is. Do we feel all right about
I can't
using
find
our
these notes.
circles
I can't find these notes.
to tell validity?
Oh my gosh, yes.
We are
So-
better.
Dr. Hamilton, my Zoom cut out for a couple minutes. Can you just go back up to the top
Can
for
we
a
do
second?
that one more?
I had a quick question.
Sure. Right. Are we right here? Which top? Am I up
We
far enough?
are, it's on, sorry, around like 6, 7, 8-ish.
Well,
I wrote my
guys-
answer. I just didn't get to hear what was right. Sorry.
Well, we're
Keep
gonna
in-
have it's being recorded, and so
Oh,
we're
good.
gonna
Oh, thank you. Okay.
yeah, we're gonna send the link out, and then you can see it from there. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton.
Thank you so much. You made it so easy, and I so much appreciate you for doing this.
Oh,
Where do
great!
we-
I'm glad.
I have a question. Where do we find these notes at? I can't, there's no modules in our class on Canvas.
Oh, there isn't.
No, ma'am. And then I go to files and there's nothing under the files for
No.
MGF 1106. No, ma'am.
In your modules, right before you get to your lesson, there should be something called blank class notes. You don't see anything like that?
No, there's no, here, look, I'll show you. There's